Hello, my darling ones. It's Robin here. Thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel today. This is my channel, Oracle Rising. If you guys are interested in readings, I do daily tarot readings on my other channel, Aries Fire Tarot. I think there's a link in the description box. But anyway, I'm going to pull you guys a card. I've already pulled it from the Lightworker Oracle. Okay, so I think this is a really fascinating card. I haven't done card pulls for a while because I've been going through quite a bit of stuff here, and I just needed to sort of, you know, I needed my own energy for a while. But the Dark Night of the Soul, I think this is going to be a really interesting card. I know that a lot of you have watched the Dark Night of the Soul videos that I've done. So let's see what this card has to say. Obviously, this deck is geared towards light workers and star seeds and indigo children and whoever has incarnated on this planet to help raise the vibration. Okay, so this card is dedicated to you guys and whatever it is that you're going through. So it says here that you are ready for a more real and radiant, oops, I forgot about the card, with the divine. Your preconceived ideas and safe limiting beliefs may be sacrificed in order for this to happen. To the divine, there are only, I can't read this word, the clothing of your spirit. Okay, they are impediments to the absolute intimacy the divine seeks with you. You might feel vulnerable or uncertain as the divine goes about stripping away these barriers. This is where we enter the dark night of the soul. You understand there is nothing to rely upon but the divine. And you will find it difficult to trust at times. Let me know in the comments, guys. Do you find it hard to trust people or places or situations? I have a hard time with that, but I'm really empathic, so it can really affect me. This might well end, however, and the sweetness of the divine dawning in your heart shall render all worthwhile. But for now, you are meant to feel exactly as you feel. Okay, so there's that saying that you're exactly where you need to be right now. So, like, I know a lot of us are going through extremely uncomfortable things, and I think this card is really timely because it's like the whole planet is going through a dark night of the soul. It's just a disaster. You know, I think for people as humans and us having free will, being in the power of psychopaths is like, what are we doing? You know, so anyway, that's our mission, to be here to hopefully reverse that before it's too late. You are not doing something wrong. You are moving closer to the divine. Okay, so divine is like, define that any way you want to. You don't have to use anybody else's definition of spirit or divine. Okay, I think a lot of people get hung up on that. It's also okay for your beliefs to change and evolve over time, and, you know, start to question things that you previously believed in. It's okay. It's okay to evolve. Okay, so even though you are already on a spiritual path this lifetime, you can go deeper. Sometimes people know this and yet are afraid. Familiar with emotional drama, preach. They are hesitant to let go of what they know, even if that is emotional suffering and mental anguish. That fear prevents them from being willing to trust in this loving hand reaching out towards them. It might seem silly, yet letting go of fear to take hold of the hand of love can be extraordinarily difficult. I wanted to talk about that point really quickly before I forget about it. Okay, so if you're a dramaholic or, you know, a traumaholic, I mean, these things happen and we get used to these patterns, but this is also part of what our subconscious mind adapts us to. So there's an auto programming going on in your subconscious mind, and that can be such a barrier, you know, releasing your old self and welcoming in your new self. So if you're having trouble getting into a place where you'd be a little bit happier with your life, feeling more content and welcoming in more prosperity, anything like that, it's really time to start digging into retraining your subconscious mind. I listen to a channel, it's called Your Universe, YOU, Universe. And she's got some amazing content, so you might want to check that out if you feel like you're just stuck in a cycle over and over and over again. If you don't trust that love will hold you, letting go can seem like allowing yourself to fall into an abyss. A feeling of madness may now plague you as you wonder if you are sane to leave a known world behind you and enter into the darkness of your own doubt and fear. You sense that the old self and the familiar ways will not survive this dark night. Even if you know in your heart that this sort of spiritual death is an opening to new life, and it can still be confusing. It says profoundly confusing, but I couldn't get my mouth around it. But there's also things, you guys, like people do these retreats and they go and meditate together out in the wilderness. There's no screens, there's no media, there's no nothing but yourself, okay? And some people do those where they go out, what do they call that? Like a vision quest or something like that. 3 or 4 nights in the wilderness. I think there's guides positioned around to just check in on your safety so you don't get eaten by wolves or something like that. But do you know what I mean? Like, and this is why it can be so hard to evolve too, is because there's just so much distraction. So maybe think about doing that. If you can't afford to do something like that, maybe just shut off your radios, TVs, like shut off your handheld device, like don't take calls from anybody, and just really sit with your own thoughts. And that can be really, really scary, okay? But these things are necessary in order to go through this dark night of the soul where you just start to question everything and you feel like everything is falling apart. But it is just a natural part of your spiritual journey. And something else about the dark night of the soul is that it can happen multiple times in your life, okay? Especially during a retrograde, okay? So that just keep that in mind, okay? So the only way to end the dark night is to go through it. It can't be avoided. You could put it off, but it's just going to keep haunting you, okay? So to endure it and know that although you will not understand how it could be possible, it will transform itself into the sweetest grace. In time, you shall be on your knees, not in despairing prayer, dearest child of love, but in gratitude, peace, and devotion. Though it all begins as a challenge, the dark night of the soul will become a saving grace. Love knows that you are ready to take this spiritual test and emerge more in love with the divine than ever. Remember that this is an advanced initiation and therefore challenging at a profound spiritual level. Therefore, get some support, okay? That's why I was talking about those meditation groups out in the wilderness or in a yurt or whatever, just somewhere in nature. Even though you walk the path alone, another can help bear witness to your process. That almost made me cry. And remind you that you are on a noble path of empowerment, love, and truth. Also, although you may feel your gratitude has abandoned you, it said guidance. I don't know why I said gratitude, but maybe that's something for me to work on. Even though you may feel your guidance has abandoned you, in truth, guides are with you ever more closely, whispering words of encouragement, hope, and love. Look for the love within and let it guide you through the dark night. It will lead you faithfully and in perfect divine timing into the light of your sweetest morning. Okay, so sometimes I get messages and comments that, you know, people are saying, oh, my guides aren't with me. I can't hear them. They're not talking to me, you know, and your guides are always there. Your guardian angel is always there, okay? Probably you've got ancestors. You probably got a room full of people that you can't see. Your spirit guides, angels, archangels, whatever. But there's some things that you have to figure out for yourself, okay? So you could ask for signs, like don't ask them to levitate a couch or anything like that, but, ask for a temperature change or something, okay? Or a song, something, okay? But you're never, ever alone. And I know that a lot of us as light workers and spiritual people, like we don't know anybody else in our region that is on the same path. So it can be extremely difficult There's something that I like to talk about every now and again. There's this app or website you guys can use. It's called Meetup. And you can find like-minded people. Like there's a small group in my city. It's a spiritual meetup, and people kind of hang out and meditate, you know, and talk about stuff. And it's actually really cool. So, I mean, search your groups if you're on social media to see if there's people, like if you're an empath. I was in this group. It was on Facebook a long time ago. It was at the beginning of my spiritual journey and right before my dark night of the soul. It was called Empaths for Beginners. And then, you know, there's Lightworker groups and Starseed groups and, you know, all of that stuff. And it can just be that nice feeling to know that you're not alone, okay? So you're never alone. There are humans that are going through the same thing as you. They might not just be in your city, that's all. So look for groups and support. And if your angels aren't talking to you, just know that they are watching you and loving you and supporting you, okay? So don't feel that they have abandoned you. There's that thing like about somebody walking down the beach and there's two sets of footprints, and they said it was Jesus walking beside them, and just know that Jesus is an ascended master, okay? And then this guy, he's saying, well, and I'm probably butchering this, but whatever, you get the drift, right? You know, there was some times when there was only one set of footprints, so I felt like I was alone. I'm getting overwhelmed talking about this. And Jesus said to him, that's because those were the times that I was carrying you. So just know that you're never alone. I'm going to go cry. All right, guys, many blessings. Bye.